What's up, folks? Welcome back to the channel. Boozer here. Thanks for stopping by. Today's video, we are on the test server here, and we will be playtesting one of the brand new champions coming with the Web of Corruption campaign. And that is going to be this champion here coming from the Dark Elves. He is Force Affinity. Where is he? There he is. Varkos Headsplitter. Really, really cool. I actually dig this aesthetic. It kind of reminds me a little bit of the Mountain from the Game of Thrones, kind of, with a Dark Elves aesthetic, obviously. But yeah, it looks pretty cool. Looks like he means business, head splitter, and all that. Interesting faction for him. Let's go over his kit and stats here. He's a defense-based damage dealer. All right, guys, 101 base speed, about average, 63% crit damage. That's what we want to see. He's got an A1, double hit, ignores unkillable buffs. When counterattacking, will attack 3 times instead. 30% damage from 3 books. Very nice to see. Unkillable is a little bit of a problem in some spots, especially for arena. There's a lot of things to deal with, basically everything in the game except for really unkillable. So having this is going to be really nice. It's also a multi-hit, good for material stacks. His A2 here, Murderous Fighter. 3-turn cooldown when fully booked. 30% damage from books. Attacks one enemy twice. Ignores block damage and shield. Again, very nice. A lot of block damage in this arena meta right now. Whenever this champion teams up with an ally to attack an enemy, they will use this skill. When joining an ally's attack, will attack 3 times instead. So champions that bring ally attack or A1s that bring in friendly allies to attack, and you bring Varkos in, he's going to attack 3 times with this. This could be potentially very crazy. And then on his A3, also a very decent ability on a 4-turn cooldown, places increased defense, counterattack, and shatter on himself only for 3 turns. And then you get an extra turn. So effectively on a 3-turn cooldown, very nice because your buffs are going to be, almost full duration of this ability. So you almost always have the buffs up. Unfortunately, it doesn't give him, anything to survive with, like unkillable. That would have been nice. But these are pretty nice. It gives them straight damage pretty much. And his passive here has a 15% chance of joining an attack whenever an ally attacks an enemy. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. 15% chance. Chance goes up to 25% when the ally is from the Dark Elves faction, so makes him very powerful for faction wars, guys. And then the second part of this passive, enemies killed by this champion whenever they counterattack or join in an ally attack cannot be revived. So putting him with ally attackers or having this passive go off, he has a chance to basically block revive the target. And when paired up with this ability, whenever this champion teams up with an ally to attack an enemy, they will use this skill. So I believe he'll use his A2 whenever his passive goes off. We'll have to test that out a little bit. But this guy's kit, no nonsense, all business. Self-buffing for damage. Damage goes through unkillable, goes through block damage, block revive. All business. Build him up, straight damage dealer. Let's see if he can hit. All right, guys, so this is my Varkos Headsplitter, and this is the build that we're going to be bringing into some content here. Basically used my gear from my Harima, slapped it right on him. He's got 260 speed, 334 crit damage, 8.1k defense. Yeah, it's pretty strong build. He's in Stone Skin and Lethal, which is the build that we're going to bring into some arena action. We do have him 5-star blessed. I would assume that he is going to be probably available during the Web of Corruption campaign, probably as a guaranteed champion, and his soul will probably be available one way or another. So a 5-star soul is not out of the realm of question right away. Definitely prefer Lightning Cage on him because he does have a couple buffs that he does for himself. You want to protect those buffs whenever possible, and he is running Stone Skin, so protected. So protection from the Stone Skin getting ripped off is going to be a nice thing. Just going to go over some of the gear pieces here for you guys. Speed, crit rate, crit damage, defense, if you guys can swing it. No accuracy required on this guy. Is really, really easy to build in terms of just overall stats. So you guys check out the stats here for him. We're running defense percentage boots because we have a triple speed roll on the boots. Defense ring, crit damage amulet, defense banner with speed. Now for the relic, I know some of you guys don't have this, but we're going to run the Cat's Gaze. You want to run anything with damage boosting stats. So here we're running crit damage boosting, and the Cat's Gaze is really good because it gives you some ignore defense. For Varkos, he doesn't have ignore defense unless he has the shatter buff on him, so that's a little bit unfortunate. It's going to make him hit not as hard. So having an ignore defense relic is going to be a huge boost, but any kind of relic with some crit damage on it is going to help him out just to deal more damage. I did mention Lightning Cage for the Blessing of Choice. And as for the masteries here, we did go down the offense and defense tree. I felt we got quite a bit of value here from the counterattacks. You definitely could go down to support and maybe go down to lasting gifts to get some extra turn duration on his buffs. However, his buffs are on a 3-turn cooldown and his abilities on a 3-turn cooldown. 4-turn cooldown with an extra turn. So effectively, you got 2-turn uptime on his buffs and then 3-turn cooldown on his abilities. Almost full uptime, but Lasting Gifts gives you a chance to get full uptime. But we went for Retribution and Deterrence just to give him some more counterattack opportunities because his A1 is ridiculously powerful. Triple hit here when he's counter-attacking. And then we left out Helm Smasher just because we're going to be doing some damage tests just to check him out before Helm Smasher. So this is going to be the build for him. Let me bring him out into some content and we'll see how well he does. All right, guys. So we're heading to Dragon stage 10. We're just going to fart around in here a little bit. No aura boost or anything like that. We got decreased defense and weaken applied by Lydia. So we always get that 15% chance to join in the attack with Lydia. That's going to be pretty cool. But yeah, we didn't hit that time. Let's self-buff ourselves, increase defense. We got 3-turn cooldown on that. We got an extra turn. Let's test out the A2. Let's check out the animation against this Venus. And hit. About 400k. 400k on that A1. That A2. I would say that's pretty strong. That's pretty strong. Let's check out the A1 now. And 1-time speed. Double hit, 260k. Honestly, that's pretty impressive numbers. Now, keep in mind, he is running the Cat's Gaze for additional ignore defense, and he does have Shatter buff on himself for additional ignore defense. You can kind of see there that his A2 popped off because of the passive. Very powerful, right? Whenever this champion teams up with an ally to attack, it attacks 3 times instead. So when Lydia attacked, his passive actually attacked Venus 3 times already. So really, really powerful passive here, especially when you have him built out like to hit really hard. That time we didn't self-buff. We were doing 90k each, about half the amount of damage that we were doing when we buffed up with the Shatter. Let's see if we can trigger the passive again. It's only 15% chance. Nope, that didn't work out. And here we can do with the A1, finish her off. Yeah, about 300k on that. That's really huge. No Helm Smash or anything. At least for me, it seems like his abilities hit quite hard. And his passive actually does really good damage. Also, just kind of passively. So you could definitely build him out, perhaps, a little bit slow, take advantage of your team, just doing more attacks, and then he'll just follow up and attack as well with his A2, which is pretty strong. So here are Varkos's multipliers. He's doing 2.8 by defense on his A2, and this is a double hit, so it's basically 5.6 on a single target. It does ignore block damage and shields. And then keep in mind that he hits 3 times. So it's going to be 5.6 plus 2.8, which is 8.4 on a single target with his A2 when he teams up or ally attacks. This makes this single target hit really, really strong. And his A1 is doing 2 multiplied by defense, so double hit, so 4x defense on his A1. I'll show you guys some comparable champs here that have similar multipliers. Here's Leonardo, for example. His A1 is a 1.7, but then he does have a chance to build up the ignore defense a little bit, up to 15%. So it's a little bit less than 2x on a double hitter, so it's going to be 3.4x. But then you have the additional ignore defense from his build up there, depending on how much buffs he has. So it makes sense that it's a little bit weaker than Varkos's A1. Keep in mind that Varkos attacks 3 times. So a 6x multiplier on the A1 whenever he is counterattacking. To put that in perspective, that's the same as Candrafon's A1, which is a 6x A1 when he gets the extra hit. Now, we look at the A2 for Varkos. Remember, it was 2.8 by defense. So here are the multipliers for Tormund. So Tormund's A2 is a single target double hit. It's a strip and all that stuff as well. But his multiplier is a 3x defense. So together it's a 6x defense versus Varkos's 5.6x defense. So Varkos is a little bit weaker, but Varkos ignores block damage and shields, and he has the opportunity to land a 3rd hit. So a little bit tempered in the overall multiplier. So it's a little bit weaker than Tormund's single target overall, like in general. But obviously ignoring block damage is very important. And then obviously the chance to go for a triple hit and even passively go for the triple hit, it's very, very strong. So all things considered, I think his multiplier is very balanced, or actually on the stronger side for sure. And if you have a team that really synergizes really well with him, he's going to be really, really good in that regards. So let's bring him out into some other content here. And especially, I think for Faction Wars, I think he's going to be really good. Faction Wars, Dark Elf, not my strongest faction either. Basically just going through here, the bunch of support champions and Aphidus for damage. Now we're going to slot in Varkos and see how well he can do for this faction. All right, here we go. So I took out Aphidus. Aphidus was my main damage dealer. So we're just let it run and see how well it does. We're on stage 21 here. I think he's going to be really good. So keep in mind that his passive increases from 15% chance to ally attack up to 25% chance because we are using Dark Elves. So let's see what he can do. Wow, his single target just literally deleted that. I forgot what that champion's called. Blah, blah, blah. I know he's a Sylvan Watcher. He's supposed to counter TM drops and stuff like that. But man, his A2 just deleted him. Oh, we petrified ourselves. Oh no. I guess that's Arbase doing Arbase things. All right, let's watch this in action here. This looks pretty interesting actually. Remember, he has 25% chance to ally attack with his A3. Very, very powerful A3. Okay, so that's just an A1. Nice strip there from Naldula, very strong. There's our increased defense. Block revive. There we go, guys. 25% chance to ally attack. And then if he kills somebody, it's a block revive. Crazy stuff. It's a little bit unfortunate that he doesn't have an AoE attack. It's a little bit unfortunate. Oh, there's the A2 again. Oh my god, block revive again. Yeah, it's a little bit unfortunate that he doesn't have an AoE attack. It's all single target, but it's kind of nice. I mean, it's not going to lie. This Dark Elves team with him in it looks pretty solid. There you go, the A2. This time not an ally attack. It's just him using it. It's pretty nice to have a block revive too. There you go with the buff and the A2 dead. And there you go, 25% chance, block revive. Counter attack, triple hit, block revive. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, guys. This is kind of legit. I don't know. He looks pretty good. He looks pretty good. At least for PvE content right now, he looks really good. He has good enough multipliers. Obviously, got him juiced up here. Got good blessing, got good relic, good build. He's pretty juiced up, but he's doing it. He's doing it right now. He's definitely doing better than Aphidus. Aphidus would struggle here, especially if he wasn't able to like one-shot the waves. But for him, he doesn't have wave damage, but he's able to do quite a bit here. He's doing the triple hits from the counterattacks, his masteries. It's all doing stuff here. There we go. And coincidentally, Force Affinity actually works pretty well against this wave versus the Magic Affinity here. All right, 25% chance to attack. Ugh, our guy died. Do we have a reviver? Oh, yes, we do. We got 2 revivers. Dark Elves is stacked. So many fusions coming for Dark Elves lately. Self buff A2 deleted. Nice. Very nice. All right, let's get to the boss. I'm not sure how well he's going to fare against the boss, though. Okay. And deleted. A1. All right, let's see this. It's going to be pretty nice. You can block revive the ads. I don't think the ads can be revived anyway, so it's all good. Okay. A2. Self buff A2. Oh, baby. It's all the attacking. The 25% chance from his passive is just a lot of extra damage coming through. Buff strip kind of sucks. Oh, we can ignore the block damage here from the boss. That's really nice. Decreased defense. Yep, the block damage, pretty annoying. Deleted. Yeah, block revived. No more block damage for the boss. Self buff A2. Mavara has been crazy for this faction. Just like boosting the consistency of the runs. Go counterattack. Not counterattack, but just the A1. I hit. Oof. The A1 smacking. Looks like we got this one. At this point, the boss is like no problems against multiple revivers, a cleanser, healers. Ah, the strip. Strip sucks. A2, decent amount of damage. Got fervor buff on him too. Ooh, big hit, triple hit there from the counterattack. A2 again. Ooh, that was his passive going off. And then there's the A. Oh, and then the triple hit from the passive to finish it up. Oh my goodness, that's pretty nice. Honestly, this guy is a damage powerhouse, especially in like waves like this. For PvE, I could definitely see him doing very, very well. I think actually even for Hydra, he might actually do pretty good. So let's bring him into Hydra with the exact same build, and let's see how well he's going to perform there. All right, we're going to bring him into a Hydra run here just to see how well he performs. I think his passive might enable him to do some pretty good damage, to be honest, like over the long term. So I'm curious to see how well this is going to work out. About 400k on that A2 hit. Oh, there's the counterattacks. He does have counterattack on himself, which puts him at risk of getting basically picked off there, like with the Head of Mischief stealing all his buffs. So we do need to like find a better team to maybe protect him in that sense. But you kind of see his 15% passive kind of popping off there a little bit. He's chipping in more and more damage. Really, really nice to see. I want to run. I think I've run this over 1,000 turns. It's going to be a lot. He's going to contribute quite a bit. We got some pretty good damage dealers here. We got Crocad. You know, he's one of the best in the business. We got Thor, also one of the best in the business. And I'll show you guys the builds for the damage dealers at the end, just to give you guys a more better sense of what kind of competition he's up against. But here we're kind of seeing that, you know, he's pitching in. His A2 doing decent damage, but not crazy in terms of Hydra standards, especially compared to Thor or Crocad. So he's really relying on his passive pitching in here for the extra damage. Let's see what he can do. Ooh, big hit. Decapitated. That was a triple hit too, so he was using his passive. But only 15%. Perhaps there's better teams, right? If you put in more dark elves, like if you have teams with like Elva, maybe Mavara, and then, you know, you can get a little bit more out of them, right? 15% going up to 25%, you know, might get a little bit more out of them in terms of damage. Yeah, still some pretty good slaps. I'm gonna do some quick battles here and see what kind of damage output he can put out. I think he can be decent, but he's not going to overtake some of these top end damage dealers here. So we're on Nightmare difficulty. Crocad doing 486 million damage. Thor 164. Varkos 164 million damage. Guys, this is legit. Varkos pitching in significant damage here. We don't even have Dark Elves, you know, to boost up his passive. So his passive is just working at 15% clip. But 164. So we're matching this Thor here, which is crazy because we don't even have Nature's Wrath, and this Thor has Nature's Wrath on, and Thor has a PvE specific build. And you know what? I don't even think I turned on Helm Smasher on Varkos. So let's check it out. I don't even think I turned on Helm Smasher for Varkos. So yes, I didn't turn it on. There we go. Let's turn on Helm Smasher and let's jump in there. And we're going to keep the Cat's Gaze. We're going to keep the Lightning Cage. But I'm pretty sure we can do more damage than Thor, even with this kind of, even with the Lightning Cage blessing instead of just a better blessing. In this case, I think we'll probably take something like Heaven Cast, since he won't benefit from Nature's Wrath, for example. But yeah, let's try this again, this time with Helm Smasher. We might be able to exceed the Thor damage here. Yes, there we go. This time Thor 126, Varkos 167. This is with the Helm Smasher versus no Helm Smasher. ProCAD doing 436. We didn't make the 1,000 turn limit this time. Let's run one more time just for a consistency's sake. Let's see if we can go 1,000 turns. And we don't. Varkos doing more damage than Thor again. Now, this is pretty crazy. Like, this is a champion that potentially could do really well in, arena, potentially. But he's also doing really well in this kind of PvE content like Faction Wars, Hydra. So yeah, this guy is bringing a lot to the table right now. And as I said, I'm going to show you guys the builds for these guys, just so first of all, I don't forget about it. ProCAD. So ProCAD, he's pretty juiced up, right? He's got 10k, 10.5k attack, 340 crit damage, 250 speed. He's running the Coronet, and then he's running Nature's Wrath. So he's means business, right? He's in a pretty business-like build. I'll show you guys Thor here. Thor running 9-piece Merciless. So like I said, a very PvE-centric build. 211 speed. So his speed's a little bit on the low side, 350 crit damage, 7.5k attack. And he's also running the Coronet for more damage, Boss Slayer Gem 2, and he's running Nature's Wrath for some more damage boost. And in terms of masteries, he is running Helm Smasher. So, and then if we want to do a refresher here on Varkos, he is running a lethal set, so he's running less ignore defense than Thor. He's a little bit quicker. He's about 50 speed quicker. He has a little bit less crit damage. And he's not in a 9-piece Merciless set, so he's not going to get the extra turn mechanic that Thor gets. He also has a Cat's Gaze, which is pretty important. Cat's Gaze is quite a bit of damage. No Boss Killer Gem, so it's Cat's Gaze versus Arathi Coronet with the Boss Killer Gem, and then no Nature's Wrath Blessing. So you can probably argue that maybe Cat's Gaze versus Coronet is kind of close, especially with the Boss Killer Gem put in there. But then Lightning Cage is not providing too much benefit versus Nature's Wrath, which is a very big benefit. And there was a pretty big damage discrepancy between Varkos and Thor. And then lastly, the masteries, we do have Helm Smasher this time. You know what? For completeness sake, let's just do this. Let's give him a blessing. Heaven Cast kind of makes sense. Everything else doesn't really make sense in terms of damage. And then we'll run the quick battle again. So we were seeing that Varkos doing pretty significant more damage than Thor. And this time, wow, this Varkos, look at this damage, guys. 230 million damage versus Thor's 146. So previously, Varkos was doing 140 versus like Thor's 105. And that was probably the biggest spread. And now with the Heaven's Cast, which isn't even like a great blessing for damage, but it's significant enough, especially with this buff heavy team, to boost them up pretty crazily. So very, very impressive, very impressive. And especially if you have like a stronger build on him for PvE, he definitely will be able to crank way more damage. I'm actually really impressed that he can outpace Thor here in terms of overall damage. And he is not an AoE damage dealer. So really, really cool to see. All right, guys, and lastly, let's bring him out into some PvP content here. We're going to be doing some arena runs. Now, I got in a pretty interesting team here. I think it's a little bit fun. Mavara, definitely a premium Dark Elf paired with Varkos is going to be pretty nice. Going to take advantage of his 25% passive ally attack. We have Lei Mikage here also with the ally attack. She's one of the best in terms of ally attacks. And then we have the brand new champion here. We have Talena, and then she's going to be our kind of like our lockout buff removal champion. You can replace her with a Fabian. So I just wanted to showcase her a little bit in this as well. I think Fabian's still a better lockout, better control champion than she is, but she's the new flavor. So we're going to try her out here. All right, let's get started. So we're playing against the Varkos on defense, and it looks like Nubs has him in a 9-piece Mercurial set as well. So that would be the other kind of build that I would recommend for him, is that he does take advantage of the 9-piece Mercurial set because he does have an extra turn mechanic on his A3, so he can get the refresh stacks. And it does offer him a little bit of protection, right? Because he just doesn't have any way to survive otherwise. So 9-piece protection build on him totally makes sense. Let's get this fight going. We're going to lock them out, and then we're going to attack somebody and probably delete somebody. Let's see if we can just straight up kill this Mavar through her Mercurial stacks. I don't think we will, but oh my god, instantly deleted, guys. We are attacking 3 times. Oh my god, Mikage got deleted too. So with the join-in attack, when he kills somebody, they get block revived. And when he joins in attacks or ally attacks there with Mikage, he will attack with his A2. So he's A2ing, ignoring the block damage and shields or anything like that. Pretty crazy stuff, to be honest. Um, Actually, I want to see something else. I want her to place the unkillable on herself. And then we can go back in and kill her through the unkillable too. So let's see if we can just kill this guy, Varkos, through his Mercurial stacks. All right, let's go through it. And we're going to triple hit here with the A3. I don't think anybody can survive that, honestly. That's so powerful. That A3 attack is so deadly. I mean, especially if you can pair him up with like a plus defense before the ally attack goes. It's just absolutely brutal stuff. We can double hit. We're going to not go through the unkillable yet. I want him to go through the unkillable here. 25% chance. Nope, not quite. 15% chance. And there it is. The A1. Nope, that was the A2. And here's the A1. Pop, pop. And then poisons finish him off. Pretty nice. It's really hard to survive this guy. I think it's really hard to survive this guy. Okay, let's try some other team here. Let's try. I mean, we need to be fast enough to go first. That's the problem. All right, so we get a chance to go first here. Luckily, we got increased accuracy, 1,000 accuracy coming, and then everybody gets locked out. That's great. Buffs get removed. And I guess we'll go. Let's go for the plus resistance, and then we will ally attack and delete Marichka. Block revive. There's no surviving that. And let's see here. So A1 double hit. Oh, actually not too bad. A1. Bayek being super annoying. Oof. All right, let's try to bring him back up. Let's see what we can do here. Oof. Not going to be able to do much. Yep, not going to be able to do much. For some reason, the Fabian still was able to lock us out. So let's try again. Need him to be locked out. Okay. Okay. Ally attack. So she dies instantly. Then I guess it's only a 1-turn lockout. That's the thing. It's only a 1-turn lockout, really. Ooh, look at all those hits. Unfortunately, yeah, his passive's so strong. Oof. Heal everybody. Oh, yeah, that's another thing where he gets CC'd. It's kind of hard for him to recover. A little bit annoying here. All right, let's duck out. All right, let's try YST's team here. Got Harima's passive on the field. Yeah, so that's one of the limitations here of Telena is that her lockout is only for 1 turn. Not the best. Nice. Block revive. Got the fervor buff on him too. And increase defense. And let's see if we can delete the Harima. Oh yeah, 1 hit. 50k. Counterattack, triple hit. Bunch of weak hits, unfortunately. Right? Can he do it by himself? A1. Not quite. Oh, there's the counterattack, triple hit. Counterattack. Oh, through to unkillable. That's pretty nice. I mean, there's definitely things about him that makes him a massive threat. First of all, the counterattack through the unkillable is just crazy. All right, let's try against this team here. Obviously, this team means serious business, but we're going to try to cheese him out with the ooh, look at that. Oh my goodness. And can we block revive the nice? Oh, not quite. Not quite. Mainly because of a Bayek passive here prevented all the big hits from happening. So that's a little bit of a bummer there. I think at this point we're probably going to lose. Oof. Yeah, that's pretty big. No, it's not going to work. Bayek's passive. Let's try again. Let's this time target Bayek. Let's see if we can kill him. Kill him this time. Well, Stone Skin stopped, so can't go through the Stone Skin. Can we kill the Theodosia? Probably not. Nope, definitely not, especially with the Bayek passive. Oh, that's a little bit of a bummer. All right, let's try again. This time we took off the Stone Skin from Bayek. Let's see if we can go all in. Try to kill him off. Triple hit. Nope. Crazy strong passive. All right, so that's kind of one limitation there. Obviously, you can't throw him into a Bayek team and expect to win. All right, let's try this team out. This team has good resistance, but we have increased accuracy, so should help us out a little bit here. And we do. We locked him out. All right, let's see if we can kill this Bayek through his... let's see if we can kill this Nice through his Mercurial stacks. And there you go. Triple hit, and it should be a block revive. There we go. Block revived. Looking great. Feeling good. Big threat is gone. Turn meter boosting with poisons. Oh, and the triple hit again. Plus, now we're going to go in. Oh, 230,000 damage. Crazy. All right, guys, that's going to be it for this showcase for Varkos Headsplitter here. Hopefully it gave you guys a good look into this guy's capabilities. Now, for me, I think he's a PvE monster. I mean, if you draw this guy or you have this guy on your account, he's definitely going to help you out in a lot of different areas. His passive pitches in quite a lot of damage, way more damage than I thought. Enough damage to basically bypass somebody like Thor, who all has, multi-hits and AoEs. This guy just has, single target hits on his kit, but his passive here, giving him lots of extra attacks. And yeah, just pitching in a ton of damage here. Like he self buffs, which is really nice. He doesn't have crazy ignore defense in his kit, just 15 here from the buff, which can fall off. And I guess I should have taken Lightning Cage for the arena, but I don't think it would have made that much of a difference. Either way, I think he's very viable in PvE, and I think he can definitely help out in some PvP content as well. He's a bit of a threat. He is an option against unkillable teams, against block damage teams, and he pairs pretty well with Mavara. To be honest, so you can land like fervor buffs on him, and then he could, come in with fervor. With your teammates with fervor buffs could be cool. He could actually pair pretty well with fervor buff, in a PvE team, like a Hydra team or something like that, for some more damage. So yeah, this guy, I think he's definitely worth getting. He's a good damage dealer. His multipliers seem to be in line or very good or better than usual. And yeah, he looks good. Looks good. Also, guys, he's probably one of the champions that might be a guaranteed champion during this Web of Corruption campaign. So if you guys were wanting to save for a champion, he might be on that list. It's either him or Talena. So you guys can definitely, decide which one is better or not. I honestly like them both. They're both really good, especially for hard faction wars, but they do different things. So it really depends on your account and which one will help you guys out a little bit more. Obviously, Varkos needs some pretty dang good gear for him to do some pretty good damage, but Talena needs to be fast, needs to have good accuracy for her to do her role as well. So it really depends on your account, guys. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think about this showcase for Varkos Headsplitter. Do you guys think he is a good champion? Do you guys think his damage is up to par? Will this champion help you out? Let me know in the comments. Appreciate you guys watching until the end. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe button. It really helps me out, and I appreciate it. Thanks again for watching. Have a great day, and I'll see you guys in the next video.